Our top story tonight, a local family facing an uncertain future after a traffic stop turned into ICE custody for the father.
The mother is speaking out about the challenges of keeping her family together and what steps they're taking next. WSAV's Isabella Baez is joining us with their story.
That's right, Tina. The hardest 4 months of their lives. That's how Annalise Foster describes the time it has been since Pedro has walked in the doors of their home. She says it all started as a traffic stop. Then their lives were changed forever.
I definitely never thought this would happen to us, and it's definitely changed my outlook on a lot of things. It can happen to anybody, and it is really, really hard.
Annalisa Foster says her and her partner Pedro were driving one day when they were pulled over for a broken taillight. She says her heart sank when the police officer came to the window and started questioning them about Pedro's identification. Pedro has lived in the States for the past 25 years, but originally immigrated from Mexico. That day he was arrested and later taken into ICE custody. He has been spending the last few months at the Folkston ICE Center.
Now that he's in the ICE Center in Folkston, Georgia, I'm allowed to visit him on the weekends. It's about a 3-hour drive there, 3-hour drive back. So it's like an all-day ordeal. So I've gone to visit him 3 times. I get to see him for about an hour, hour and a half. So I do talk to him every day. He calls me. He's in good spirits. He's as much as he can be.
Foster says that mistakes have been made and acknowledges Pedro did come here illegally, which comes with consequences. But she describes Pedro as a hardworking man and loving father to their children.
So we've been together about 17 years. He's my best friend. You know, he's not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We've all made mistakes, but he's just somebody that wants to just be with his family. Every now and then he'll say things like, I wish Dad was here for this, or I wish my dad was here for that. And it gets really emotional for me.
Their family is now working to figure out what comes next. Foster says if Pedro is sent back to Mexico, they will follow, but are hoping it doesn't come to that as their lives were built here.
We're trying to do the U visa, but we've just started that. So I don't really know exactly what steps are next because they've kind of been left in the dark a little bit.
Foster says they're staying optimistic and are working with an immigration attorney. She says Pedro's next court date is set for March 26th, where they'll be able to see if he has a chance to bond out. Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Isabella, thank you. New tonight, some dramatic video out of Emmanuel County shows a massive brush fire that spread into a junkyard around 3 o'clock this afternoon. The person who sent us this video tells WSAV the fire broke out at Charles Haddon Wrecking Yard between Twin City and Swainsboro. According to Emmanuel County Sheriff Jeff Brewer, the fire jumped from car to car. Multiple departments have responded to help battle the flames. Helicopters are making water drops in the area as crews work to get the fire under control. We'll continue to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
The man accused of causing a crash that killed a local teacher while trying to flee federal agents is expected in court tomorrow. 38-year-old Oscar Lopez is scheduled to appear before a Chatham County judge tomorrow afternoon. Investigators with the Chatham County Police Department say Lopez was attempting to flee a traffic stop initiated by ICE agents when he crashed into another car being driven by Dr. Linda Davis, a teacher at Hess K-8 school. Authorities say Lopez is facing several charges, including first-degree homicide by vehicle, reckless driving, and driving without a valid license.
We are learning more tonight about the Bryan County couple found shot to death in their home earlier this week. Family members are now sharing details about the lives that Kenneth Lanier and his wife Rhonda built together, a marriage that was nearing 5 decades. Investigators say the couple was found dead inside their Pembroke home on Sunday afternoon, while deputies were investigating a stolen truck case. Authorities say the suspect, Anthony Forney, fled the property in a car, leading deputies on a high-speed chase before shooting himself. The Laniers were both born in Savannah and would have celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary this October. Craig spent 40 years at the Georgia Ports Authority, training dozens of crane operators. He loved hunting and fishing and spending time with his grandsons. Rhonda was a devoted mother and grandmother, passionate about cooking for her family and cheering on her grandson's sports teams. Funeral services to honor them are set for this weekend in Pembroke. Their family will hold a visitation on Friday from 4 to 8 at the First Baptist Church. The funeral will follow Saturday morning at 11, also at the church, with the burial set to take place at Northside Cemetery.
A multi-agency response was called to a serious rollover crash in Tatnall County today that left one person trapped inside a vehicle. We want you to take a look at the dramatic photos. According to the Reidsville Fire Department, the crash happened at the intersection of Georgia State Route 280 and Freddie and Joyce Clay Road. After crews used the jaws of life to get the driver out, the victim was airlifted to a Savannah hospital. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. News now around Georgia. The Georgia Senate has passed a bill that would expand the state's Stand Your Ground law, a measure supporters say protects self-defense rights, and opponents warn could make it harder to prosecute violent crimes. As WSAV's Sarah Smith reports now, some lawmakers are pointing to a high-profile case from our area as a warning.
Senator, isn't it true that if this bill had been law, it would have made it very difficult to prosecute those who are the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery? Isn't that true?
A short but passionate debate started by Georgia State Senator Kim Jackson over State Bill 572. Jackson says this bill would have made it difficult to prosecute the 3 men responsible for the death of Ahmaud Arbery.
Isn't it true that those that murdered Ahmaud Arbery were found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, even though they tried to raise this defense? The jury still said they were guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
That's State Senator Brian Strickland of McDonough. He says the legislation would allow people to claim immunity from prosecution soon after they're charged. Also, cases involving claims of self-defense would only move forward if there's clear and convincing evidence of a crime. It should be noted this will not apply to law enforcement officers.
With this bill, we are ensuring our criminal justice system has the balance where the accused is provided the presumption of innocence and due process, and our prosecutors have all the tools they need to keep our families safe.
Senator Harold Jones says this, however, puts a tremendous burden on the prosecution.
The problem here is that you're actually going to give a person that right to have deadly force and with a rebuttable presumption. That's a high bar to beat.
That was Sarah Smith reporting. The bill now heads to the State House. We will keep an eye on this legislation and let you know what happens.
Leaders from across the Lowcountry gathering today to discuss the past, the present, and the future of one of the fastest growing counties in the country. WSAV's Andrew Davis hosting the Jasper County Chamber of Commerce State of the County event this morning. Hundreds of business leaders joined mayors and city managers from Hardeeville and Ridgeland and county officials to talk about growth, conservation, and housing. Hardeeville is currently the fastest growing city in South Carolina. County officials also say the expansion of the I-95 corridor could bring more jobs and economic opportunity to the area. Meanwhile, local leaders are saying that they're waiting for state lawmakers to pass legislation related to data centers before moving forward with any local rules.
A local family honoring the legacy of a trailblazing educator who spent decades shaping young minds in Savannah. Today, the family of the late Wilhelmina Atkinson Dean donated $30,000 to help future students succeed. Dean passed away last year at the age of 99. She spent 34 years in the Savannah-Chatham County school system, where she helped break color barriers and was one of the first African-American educators to integrate the faculty. And she also co-founded the university's Upward Bound program, helping students from underserved communities prepare for college.
She was extremely passionate about education, and she ensured that she took care of the students in any way that she could. When she was in counseling, she made sure that they were able to get scholarships to different colleges.
Her family says the $30,000 gift will go toward an endowment, and with federal matching funds will be an impact in making it grow even more.
Before St. Patrick's Day in Savannah, police are warning a few common mistakes could turn your celebration into a costly fine. WSAV's Nakia Harris shows us what to watch out for so you can stay safe.
St. Patrick's Day celebration brings a party every year, but police say common mistakes could quickly turn a celebration into a costly fine.
Take a look at this. A list of ordinance violations and what they could cost you. Most fines start at around $100, with underage drinking carrying some of the highest penalties. Savannah Police Department says many of the problems they see each year can escalate quickly during the celebration.
The big things we're going to be looking for that we usually see issues with is overconsumption of alcohol, people not knowing their own limitations. So we want to make sure that folks are paying attention to that, because a lot of the issues we see stem from that: disorderly conduct, fighting, things of that nature.
Now, SPD says the goal isn't to ruin the celebration, but keep everyone safe while Savannah celebrates. Reporting in Savannah, Nakai Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.